Dream is a sports drama comedy about a professional footballer who gets a bit of bad publicity, and following the advice from his agency, he decides to coach a team of homeless men and lead them to victory in the Homeless World Cup, while a documentary filmmaker comes on board to document the whole thing and spin it into a heartfelt story.
다시 한번 갈게요.
뭘 다시 해? 무슨 다큐멘터리에 대사가 있어.
반전도 있답니다.
It recently came to Netflix, so I was eager to check it out, as I quite like a few of the actors involved, and I think Lee Byeong-Hun is a pretty consistent director when it comes to making entertaining movies. However, he does something here that makes this movie so uninteresting to watch, because the core idea should sound like a solid foundation for a feel-good movie, but it's presented in a way that feels so disingenuous, as the footballer is only involved because he wants to clean up his image, and the filmmaker is similarly doing this to benefit her career. So for the majority of the movie, I never really got the feeling like either of them actually cared or wanted to help these people in need, unless it could be beneficial in some way. And one of the biggest issues that comes from this self-centered characterization essentially boils down to this documentary filmmaker taking advantage of the situation to manufacture a touching story.
감동과 눈물. 어떻게 만들어줘? 다다음 달 월드컵까지 자연빵으로 찍어가지고 우리가 원하는 거 나올 것 같아? 응?
For example, when this footballer is putting together the team, the filmmaker is telling him who to pick based on how their struggles will draw sympathy from an audience within the movie, rather than director Lee Byeong-Hun earning an actual audience's sympathy through a more earnest approach. And this becomes pretty common with how the movie is directed in general. But I also feel like, because of this, we don't really get to spend much time with these homeless men on a personal level, apart from being fed the occasional glimpse into their backstory. It just feels quite forcefully done in a way that expects you to feel for them without really earning it, while taking a concept like this and devaluing it under this guise of sincerity by spending most of the time with the wrong characters. And I think it's quite ironic that a movie that aims to tell a heartfelt and uplifting story kind of disregards the actual heart of the movie in favor of two actors with the bigger star power. Now, don't get me wrong, I've generally enjoyed what I've seen of Park Seo-Joon and Lee Ji-Eun in other movies, and they were one of the main reasons for why I wanted to watch this one. But I found their characters here to be very unlikable, and I was incredibly disappointed that Lee Byeong-Hun had the opportunity to tell a compelling and meaningful story about a group of underprivileged people and chose to focus on two characters who have no genuine interest in the subject matter. I also can't help but feel like it's such a bizarre creative choice to have the lead characters be two people who are trying to keep their jobs almost at the expense of a group of homeless men who literally have nothing. And because of that disconnect and lack of character development, it was hard for me to really get invested or be engaged with the story when the writing and direction makes for such an uninteresting watching experience. It isn't until the final half hour of this 2-hour movie that I'm finally starting to get into it, and I think a large part of that is because the footballer and filmmaker finally take a back seat, and the heart of the movie can finally become the center of attention as these homeless men begin to compete in the Homeless World Cup, and I could finally start to feel some value to this story that comes from their joint determination as they aim to accomplish something that's meaningful to them on a personal level. It's honestly just a shame that it comes so late in the movie, because the supporting cast are easily the best and most enjoyable aspect, and it's because of them that the movie finds its way to an entertaining and worthwhile finale. Apart from that, as you can probably tell, I didn't really like the movie, and I thought the entertainment value was pretty underwhelming in comparison to the director's previous films. But it's on Netflix, and I guess if you're coming to this movie solely for Park Seo-Joon or Lee Ji-Eun, then you'll probably enjoy watching them alongside a slice of light entertainment.